Namaste everyone. Welcome to the Cārvāka podcast. This is your host Kushalmehra. I think today's podcast can only be started by one video and one video only. I have called this podcast Shamar Joseph Zindabad for a reason. Yeah, we'll talk about the India versus England test series, but I personally feel this moment was one of the best moments of test cricket in a long time because at least Hamari generation, so we grew up on West Indies. So let's watch this beautiful moment at the Gabba.
And he's off! The West Indies have created the most amazing thing here in the world of cricket.
Beautiful.
Gone! Got him!
Beautiful. This was the greatest moment I witnessed. It was such a magnificent sight. And I don't know how else to say this, but Shamar Joseph ने दिल खुश कर दिया यार. क्या वो, I mean, उसके पहली रात लंगड़ा के जाना, he did not know he was going to play or not. And then from there, this guy just comes out of the out of the woodwork and just arguably bowls the best spell I've seen in a long time, pretty much. And then another moment that the match ended, I wanted to play. And like, captain ने भी बहुत अच्छा punch मारा है यार. ये देखा कि नहीं? This is Craig Bathwaite. Okay.
The muscle.
I think it is this one. Yeah, the muscle one. Hey, what happened to my video player, yaar? What the hell? Now it's like at the only moment where I want it to work, it doesn't work. What the hell? एक मिनट रुको. मेरे को restart का
You've been surfing too much porn on your computer.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Yeah, that's exactly my problem, right?
Which for Kushal, it means he was looking at old test match cricket videos.
You're flattering him hard. You're underestimating Kushal here, huh?
मेरी पीड़ा का एक ही इलाज cricket. Yeah.
Extremely proud. I must say, we had two words, that inspired us in this test match. Mr. Ronnie Hull said we're pathetic and hopeless. So that was our inspiration. We wanted to show the world we're not pathetic. And I must ask him, are these muscles big enough for him?
Yeah, like this guy. Are these muscles big enough for him? Basically, you know what he did here? Basically, he did this, what Rohit did today. What a man. Rohit Sharma is the greatest human being born alive. I think
He's
Rohit Sharma...
His off-the-cuff commentary is the most fun that there is in cricket.
So basically, Craig Bathwaite did this, what Rohit Sharma did today in the test match.
Someone tagged us to rev us before the podcast. Someone on Twitter tagged three of us on this video.
You know what he means by that, right? You know what he means by that?
Clue.
I'll tell you what he means by that. This is a very common saying in Indian cricket, in like all levels of Indian cricket. When you land up to play and you're playing not aggressive enough, not being focused enough, कि साले garden में घूमने आया है क्या? Because it's an open field, right? So that's exactly what he was referring to. साला आज कोई garden में घूमने आया है ना, सबके ले लूंगा.
Oh man, he's such a legend.
At least that's my interpretation of it.
It is. That's exactly what it was. I think next to Rishabh Pant, Rohit and Rishabh Pant are the best duo to.
No, Rohit ka comparison, even his pressers are phenomenal. Yeah, those videos.
Rohit ka yaad hai.
When he suddenly gets caught on camera, making all these faces that he makes, he's just pure entertainment. The guy.
Yeah, I mean, and his reaction when someone asks him a silly thing, "Abey kya kar raha hai tu?" is like literally the best reaction.
The best was World Cup 2019. अगर आप पाकिस्तान के बैटिंग कोच होते थे तो क्या बोलते थे? अगर मैं पाकिस्तान का
आपको do you have any advice for the Pakistani batsman? He says अगर अभी क्या बोलेगा? अगर बैटिंग कोच होता तब बोलेगा ना. अभी क्या बोलेगा?
Legend, absolute legend.
But okay, so let's start with Australia versus the West Indies. भाई ये मतलब इसको डिक्लेयर करने का क्या चा चढ़ा था?
ये जो रॉडनी हॉगनी की सोच थी वो सारे ऑस्ट्रेलिया की सोच थी. अनफॉर्चुनेटली एवरीवन वाज अंडर एस्टिमेटिंग द वेस्ट इंडीज. एवरीवन थॉट कि अब तो खत्म, फोर्थ इनिंग्स में क्या फाइट बैक करेंगे. It was basically कि last 30 minutes में. And you can kind of say that declaration decision was also justified because they did get a wicket in the last 30 minutes or something. So this is all hindsight is 2020 because they lost by 8 runs. Everyone's like अगर declare नहीं किया होता तो 8 run आ जाते. But honestly speaking, I think I understood why he did it, because let's face it, yeah, this Australian batting lineup against this West Indies bowling lineup, 215 was not a big task. They could have done it. And you and I both thought when West Indies was at 193 और वो शमार जोसेफ बेचारे ने टांग तुड़वा ली थी कि अब खत्म हो गया. And West Indies भी कम नहीं है. They had an implosion of epic proportions in the second innings. It was at par with India losing 6 wickets for 0 runs. वो 150 में all out हो गया था. West Indies runs ही नहीं ले रहा था. They were like they had scored like 20 runs or something and lost 4 or 5 wickets. Like it just and in like 10 overs. I mean, they were just very slowly and with no real intent. And then really till Shamar Joseph bowled the bowling in the second innings. I mean, yes, I'm looking at the scorecard. They were 157 for 5 in 52.2 overs, and then they'll lose Joshua De Silva. And they are 193 in 72 overs. So they've scored only 40 runs, or not even 40, 36 runs in the next 20 overs. So they were just going at no sort of speed at all. And when Justin Greaves got out, it was 184 for 6 and in the 62nd over. And from there, they batted for 10 overs, really, and just scored 9 runs. Just 9 runs. It was the most perplexing batting display I've ever seen. And Australia at 113 for 2, chasing 215, just was basically steamrolling. In comes Shamar Joseph with injections, jabs, whatever, and then balls 11.5 overs non-stop. And as an Australian commentator put in, he was going faster. He was bowling like the last 5 or 6 overs. He had at least 25 or 30.
143 or something throughout
No,
the spell.
in the last 5 over spell, his average speed for over 30 balls was like 140 plus, but a few balls were 150. He was clocking them, and the way he got out. So I mean, he was 7 for 68, and that figure, everyone would be like, "Arey, economy 5.7." You forget how many edges went for 4. Yes, there were a couple of good shots also, but there were also edges that flew off the face of the boundary and stuff. But my God, one of the best spells you'll see. People will remember, people who have been watching cricket for a long time, Malcolm Marshall का वो एक spell था England में, where उसका एक हाथ तोड़ दिया था, and he essentially bowled with one hand and bowled England out in the second innings and picked up 7 wickets. I would rate this at par with it. जहाँ एक टांग पे bowling डाली है, except it is probably harder to bowl with one foot than with one hand. I'm not saying what Malcolm Marshall did was easy, but my God, how do you do the jump? I mean, he would have had to, be jabbed and drugged up like anything. Uske baad bichare ko, I don't even know how his foot felt, like how sore it was for the next week, but it was a spell for the ages. Outstanding.
Oh yeah, it was an outstanding spell of fast bowling, and I remember him batting with one hand also, Malcolm Marshall, in that one.
Exactly. So this was.
But yeah, overall, I think Shamar Joseph was magnificent. It was one of the best spells of fast bowling you'll see in a long time. And yeah, good to see West Indies win. I would not draw any major conclusions post this about West Indies cricket or how good West Indies is. But yeah, it's good to see them win. And
it's a good move, sort of.
Yeah, I mean the series was 1-1, and
yes,
the Aussies will now Aussies Gabba में फिर से हार गए, यही सोच के मुझे खुशी हो रही है.
Absolutely, खत्म ही हो गया उनका. Gabba tour is over in 2 sort of days.
Dude, Sam Perry on the TGC podcast had the best line on day 3 or so. He was like, "Is this fucker getting breached again?"
It's not just breached. It has like 7 holes now in it.
I think this has been coming for Australia. Their batting has been off for close to a year now, maybe more. They haven't put up big runs anywhere. Manus Labuschagne is by Australian standards on his last legs now. It's not like It's not like Indian cricket where KL Rahul, whatever happens, will get another opportunity to let us down again. This
Guru
doesn't
Sayyar
Australia.
also. Did you see him?
Shreyas Iyer, my God. Shreyas Iyer wouldn't
Manas
make...
Labuschagne is averaging 34 or 37 in the last few test matches.
No, itna bhi nahi hoga. Itna bhi nahi
नहीं
hoga.
उतना है. I think he has
उतना
not
है.
scored a century now, or he has scored one century, the one he scored in the Ashes in the last 34 test innings or something.
He's in big trouble. He's one example of it, but it's across the board. Now, today, they have another problem. They are investing big time. And so, by the way, this whole summer, this was coming. The loss was coming. Pakistan should have beaten them at least one test match, if not perhaps even won the series, because Pakistan set themselves up in every single test match only for their batting to fail. And for the nth time, because I love saying this repeatedly, I have kept telling people for years, Babar Azam gadda batsman hai. Uske bas hi nahi hai dhang ka test cricket khelna. And that it repeatedly gets proved with that guy. He cannot handle high quality bowling consistently. He just can't do it. Rawalpindi mein jitne run banwane hain banwa lo. Bahar nahi bante regularly inse. Right? He's just not that level. Their batting has let them down. Otherwise, Pakistan had this. They bowled a few. You know, we're talking about like these last 2 weeks of test cricket. We've seen some cracking deliveries bowled. Do you remember the ball with which, was it Jamal got Travis Head bowled of the first ball in the final test? That is a murderous in swinger from left arm over. So brilliant in swing. Right, so we've seen some cracking good deliveries being bowled by even them. Australian batting has some restructuring to do. They've gone big on Cam Green, big to the extent of making them their number 4. Like number 4 is a prize spot in the test lineup. Has to be pretty much your best batsman, 3 and 4. Is Cam Green good enough to be 3 or 4? I mean, come on, yeah. It's a little.
The problem is no. Someone said it. I think I forget. I was listening to a podcast that Pat Cummins does not want to break this lineup, so to speak, and post David Warner, you would have to get like either Cameron Bancroft or someone in as the opener. That would mean dropping one from the lineup that was there to both change it up, because Cam Green and Mitchell Marsh can obviously not play every single test match.
Yeah,
so it has to be one of them.
This kind of sentimentality has never been part of Australian cricket before.
Exactly. That's what is shocking to me.
But I will accept this for 18 months now. This is not the greatest Australian team. But in terms of results and outcomes over the last 18 months, they've been phenomenal. They played one bad session in Delhi, in India. Otherwise, they would have knocked us also at home.
it would have been what Hyderabad was.
And we were making classic Shiv Sena pitches. Like they would have knocked us over as well. Right? So they are a team that somehow knows how to win. So I think that combination for him is more. And even the test matches against Pakistan, the first test against West Indies, the gaps they were winning by were not massive gaps. Right? There's a test match win in the Ashes. They won one by a few runs. They obviously won the first one by 1 wicket in that remarkable partnership. They lost one in the Ashes by 30 odd, 40 odd runs. So these test matches have been quite tight for them. They've not really been able to put their foot on the throat. At no point have they dominated anyone. The only team who was stupid enough to get dominated by them was us in the WTC.
No, England in the Ashes in Australia, but that was also pre-Brendan McCullum.
England in Australia doesn't count. They land on Augie shores. Other than one series I've seen in my lifetime, which was the 2011-12 Ashes, right, when they delivered 3 innings defeats to these guys. Ended up in Australia, the air gets knocked out of them.
I think this England team is going to. But one thing I want to take a lot of sort of side point on it. 2 points actually. First is what you said about Manas Labuschagne. Last year I read a stat that Manas Labuschagne is the world's most dropped batsman. Like he has a conversion rate of like he had 16 drops on catches and stuff like that. Basically, the stat was if he's been out 20 or 21 times, there were 41 chances given, out of which close to 45% were dropped. Right?
There's a phase in which Kohli was pretty lucky as well. It was a big phase.
So I actually believed his average was high because of that reason. I mean, he was a quality
let me add
player.
to that. At his peak, Manas was at his peak regarded mostly as he had that one debut tour when he got first picked in the Ashes, which was Steve Smith's Ashes, right? Where he did decently. It was not a remarkable performance. He did decently. And then after that, almost all of his runs were in Australia. It's not as if he's performed outside of Australia to any degree, even when his form was good, even when his stats were high. Now, of course, even the home form has deserted him.
Yeah, absolutely. The home form has deserted him completely, and you can see that. I think India figured him out with how to get him out in the first time when the Border Gavaskar Trophy came, and then it's been a downhill sort of spiral. And my second point was interesting. The video you played, Kushal, Aussie Cricket Australia has actually taken a six-part compilation video. It is six Australian broadcasters calling the West Indies win. So you have the two TV broadcasters, Channel 7 and Fox Cricket, and there are three or four independent radio networks. And it is brilliant. All of them are excited and stuff like that. Similarly, I was watching India versus England, and we had Murli Karthik calling England's win. Matlab, as an England supporter, chodo, as an Indian supporter, I felt sad that this is a moment. I mean, England played out of their skins, and that was one heck of a test match too. Our Indian test match. It went the
Phenomenal test.
Yeah, let's talk about
Phenomenal
that.
test.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
and for his like, oh, and he's out. I mean, it was just so sad. Like I was like, ye kya kar raha hai yaar? And India unfortunately does not have radio commentary, so sometimes I'll be watching Talk Sport, which is the English radio feed, which they have actually done the smartest thing. They have kept it on free to air on YouTube, and Harsha Bhogle also comments on Talk Sport, so it's actually a much better feed to watch than the BCCI commentary feed.
One second, I want to raise this. I have had a problem with Harsha Bhogle's commentary for more than a decade now. He's so WhatsApp uncle. It's insane. Like,
No, but on radio, Harsha is very different from what you see on TV.
So maybe he has that. When he has to be more descriptive, he may be better. But even then, I'm sorry, Harsha Bhogle has a habit of trying to tap into emotion for everything. He is not a technical commentator.
But I have refused to judge all commentators when they are on BCCI feed. Look at Ravi Shastri and Harsha Bhogle when they were on Fox Cricket.
BCCI has sanitized cricket commentary to the point where you can't say anything which sort of mildly critical of the Indian team.
And Harsha Bhogle, let's not forget. No, Harsha Bhogle was the first guy who lost his job because Dhoni couldn't handle 2 minutes of criticism on TV. So, anyways, Kushal, sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but I just had to draw these parallels. What were you saying about the test match?
No, I still don't understand how we lost that first test.
Oh, I'll tell you.
It's ridiculous. We should not have lost that test match.
We did. Again, we should have chased that target down, 228. Just like Australia.
No, we should not have given. We should not have had that target in the first place.
No. Let's go step by step on this. First up, how the hell did we give 246 in that first inning after having a foot on their throats?
Okay. Yes,
there are 5 consecutive overs. I remember when Stokes is batting with a tail ender, first Hartley and then another one, where even on the 5th and the 6th ball we didn't bring the field up, and we allowed him to rotate seamlessly. He sits around for a while and then knocks 1 6 or a 4, and then he taps, and he's got no pressure on the 5th ball and the 6th ball, rotates, strike again, and comes back. We gave at least 30 to 40 runs extra in that innings itself, first up. And then there is this habit across, this is now feeling like it's across the globe, even the older generation of this generation, right? So even the Kohlis, Williamsons, and Steve Smiths, they still knew how to bat time. They still knew how to manage a situation where the bowler is starting to get onto you. And that was still a generation in which a batsman like Pujara will be accommodated in a team, right? Now it feels like you have Mitch Marsh and Cam Green, for example, for Australia, as high as 4 and 5 or 3 and 4 at times. It's ludicrous to think that those guys are, as good as the old 3s and 4s that Australia used to typically have, or that they are better than what you have in terms of this test match temperament within Sheffield Shield. I refuse to believe that, frankly. Right? So there is this urge for this over-attacking cricketer. And for the effect of that, how many guys do we see getting out in their 20s and 25, 30, 35, 37, 38, when you should be set, when you should be ready to milk? There's no concept of milking. You bowl these guys 5-6 dot deliveries, and they are going to go hard. Immediately, they're going to go hard.
The way Zach Crawley was playing yesterday,
you will lose your
the way Zach Crawley was playing yesterday, I thought he would get like a 150. We just did not look like getting him out until he threw his wicket away, like what you said, because over-aggressive may down the track, he tried to hit it against the spin. Otherwise, if Zach Crawley would have stayed, England would have at least gotten 300.
Yeah, I think so. He is aggressive, and I'll give you that, but I thought it was a superb bit of bowling. It was a superb bit of bowling back, sir.
No, it was. He held his line back and everything.
The one he got, the preceding ball, he gets hit through mid-wicket for 4. That one is darted in. It's a sharper angle darting in, and it's fuller. This one is a little wider of off stump. It is loopier. it actually grips and turns just a little bit, and he must have actually felt that he can get his hands under this and go very long on this. But he gets the outside edge. So that whenever you get an outside edge from a spinner, when you're trying to attack him, you have to give credit to the spinner more than the batsman. Sure, you could say that why isn't Crawley, after having hit a boundary, just eschewing risk altogether? But that, of course, is not what baseball is all about, right? They don't mind losing wickets like this. Is their they don't even mind losing a test match like this. They don't care. For them, it's like this strategy in the long run, in larger 5 test match series will work better than any kind of restrictive strategy, right? So that's how they sort of look at it. But it was a very smart piece of bowling. That spell jointly, I mean, I know Bumrah was just phenomenal. That spell as a skill-based spell was incredible. But Aksar at the other end also bowled beautifully. That was, I think, together they bowled 6 or 8 overs. It was exceptional bowling. But we'll come to the second test later. Yeah, let's go to the first test again. Right? So we 46.
Yeah, so first test के बारे में मेरे को एक चीज की बात करनी थी. Can we appreciate the crowds? Hyderabad turned up.
Yeah. Both matches.
Boss.
Matches.
Crowds are coming. Test cricket, they can. So what does it say, Nikhil and Aadit both? That if you have a good opposition, an exciting opposition, people come to watch.
Yes. And you have to make conditions.
Boss, you had almost 30,000 people turning up in Hyderabad, यार. 30,000 थे almost crowd. और क्या चाहिए यार? Test match में 30 हजार लोग आ रहे हैं, boss. और क्या चाहिए तुमको?
No, so I actually know of someone who was there and he was live tweeting to us, Kushal, from the match, right? He said कि बाकी सब what they did for school kids and stuff वो सही था, but the one place where they messed up was they did not have assigned seating. So you were like essentially आपकी seat, if you went out to the restroom and came back, वो चली जा रही थी, and they still have to work on their whole restroom food and stuff thing. But this is a good start. I hope that, because test match में तो that is a very critical thing, yeah. If you want people to sit there for 7-8 hours, you better get your food and restroom situation.
Boss, it was magnificent, and
the BCCI message is quite clear, yeah. Test match देखने आया, toilet किस चीज के लिए जाना? बोतल रखो अपने साथ. Toilet किस चीज के लिए जाना? Boss, watch test cricket properly. ऐसे थोड़ी ना कि आ गए हैं जी, कभी यहाँ टहलने जा रहे हैं, कभी वहाँ टहलने जा रहे हैं. Actually, our viewing, I mean, jokes about our viewing experience is really quite poor overall.
Complete shit. Matlab, you know, I did not know how bad it was till I came to US and started watching sports here, and I'm like, acha, I actually
US felt like it's another level. Like it's another concourses where you get the food that you get in American stadium is phenomenal food.
No, and also the way it's maintained and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, outstanding.
And even the older arenas are fantastic.
Yeah. So, but my point is, when you go here, I actually felt like, you know, Alice in Wonderland. I'm like, what am I looking at? Because I've watched so many matches in the stadium, and it's somehow the amenities are the same, right? Even now, like what they were 15 years ago. So, but people are coming. So I just hope BCCI fixes it in the next 3 games. And you know,
I went for the India-Afghanistan game in Kotla, by the way. Okay, and I talked about this the last time we chatted. That pavilion, what is called as the old clubhouse stand, beautiful place to watch cricket. But it looks you can't get a clearer view of the game than that clubhouse stand. But what was the food? Haldirams. Haldirams gives you a little box. Like, you come to watch cricket. You should be some health conscious bullshit. They give you
gulab jamun,
right? Like patty, a shitty gulab jamun, a couple of sandwiches, ek samosa pakda. I mean, it's just like you might as well die eating this crap, yeah.
You will if you do it every day.
And no options. There's no options. Aapki ticket dikhao, ye lo dabba jaake seat pe baith.
This reminds me of those Independence Republic Day parade. हम लोग parade के बाद वो खाने का नाश्ते का box देते थे ना. It's sad, but it's really, yeah, it's sad. I mean, it's kind of, but yeah, but people are coming. You're right. And Hyderabad crowd was very good. It was applaud. But I'll tell you what makes it more fun. The Barmy Army. Man, you have to applaud how the traveling Englishmen.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I mean, I would recommend everyone to follow them on Twitter, because even on Vizag, they found literally a desi adda for beer, and they posted a video yesterday saying lunchtime beer, and they were all having a beer from the desi adda watch outside the stadium. It was outstanding. They have embraced India in the. This is not those English hoity-toity reporters of the Telegraph and the Times from the past, where they were talking about the curry they had at the Taj Hotel or something. No, these guys are actually sitting with the locals, talking to them about people. They were asking people which beer should we have, and people are like, have the boom boom beer if you're in Andhra and stuff like that. And it was awesome. Like locals are getting into it and stuff, and that's what keeps the atmosphere so good.
Their songs are also great. Yeah, they're very creative. I mean, but English
yeah.
English sport has that culture, right? Like they do it in their
Yeah.
football, they do it in their cricket. Great songs.
So,
Yeah, it
and
was fun.
Just
So
coming
what
back
did
to
you
that
guys?
first test, we go in for our batting dig, right? We make 430 odd, right? 436 is I think what we made, right? And it still felt like we were about 100 short. We should have made another 100 runs there easy. That was the best time to bat. And if you make another 100, frankly, you're safe. But really, at 190 up, you should have been safe. You didn't lose it there.
यार
You could have
और
finished
कितनी
it there, but
लीड
you didn't
यार,
lose it.
और कितनी लीड? 190 की लीड काफी नहीं थी.
Listen, before this test match, the highest lead we have ever lost a test match from at home is 65. And
Yeah.
that was back in 1950 something. Okay, so I mean, I remember watching a test match against the West Indies in Bombay in that superb series in 92-93, where West Indies came back and won on the last day in Mohali and drew the Padam series, the Jimmy Padam series, 93-94 over, I think. Right, and I think in that test match we took a lead of them in Bombay about 80 runs or something, and that was like a monumental lead. Like you just from there you know you can't beat us, right? You just can't beat us. The first test match of the famous 98-99 series, where in Chennai, where Tendulkar made that 155 in Chennai, Australia actually took a 72 run lead first innings, I think. We used to be the specialists and we can concede 60, 70, 80 in the first innings and go win the test match. In Chennai against England, when we chased 387, we gave away a solid lead that game. Yeah, we gave a lead of close to 100, maybe more than just over 100. Still won that test. It's never happened to us in the other direction. Okay, you can lose. These records will get broken at some point. But the bloody record can't get broken from going to 65 was your highest to 190. How do you lose a game from 190 up?
I'll tell you where we lost.
We dropped Pope twice, yaar. We dropped Pope twice.
No, not even that.
Catches dropped.
Kushal,
Catches dropped. I get that, Kushal. But it's not as if we created those chances with some great bowling or some great captaincy or anything. We didn't. He gave you the chance because of his over-aggression, right? It's not as if you have a tactic to bowl to the guy where you can totally pin him back and start getting wickets out. You don't seem to have that tactic against the better ones in their lineup. We were just very lucky. I mean, I'll come to Joe Root at some point in this, and you're going to find it quite amusing that what I say about Root is very similar to what I've been saying about Kohli for 3 years. In that rough patch, same technical problem. Yeah. Okay, and he hasn't contributed a thing in this series. We're still
no, not with bat, but with ball, yes. Joe Root has been phenomenal.
Yeah, of course.
But I'll tell you this. We did not lose the match even after the first and the second innings. We lost it when we had them 163 for 5, Ben Stokes out, and 27 behind. And the rest of the last 5 essentially scored 250 runs.
Yeah. Everybody had a partnership. Folks had a partnership. Ahmed had Rian Ahmed. And then Hartley had a partnership.
And that Hartley's partnership was the turning point. Bugger was absolutely smashed around in the second innings. He gets the partnership, gets the runs, and that we have seen this so many times. It's not even a joke. Like you get a little bit of sort of confidence and then comes back and picks up 2 wickets in the 1 over and then picks up 5 more. It was just.
But to be clear, this was not a pitch that had. To me, this was an Indian wicket. This is the kind of Indian wicket I've grown up watching Test cricket on.
Absolutely.
You should be making big runs. Both teams should be making big runs. I don't think even this English lineup, I mean, baseball apart, whatever baseball is, they're not also capable of sort of withstanding when things start moving a little bit more than usual. Right?
Yeah.
They tend to do these remarkable things to win Test matches as baseball has done throughout this sort of phase. But they are also not capable of dealing with really high quality cricket coming at them, right? But nobody's playing that really high quality cricket. We have not played really high quality cricket to date,
Mhm.
except one phase today when Jazz Bumrah just decided that he's going to teach you a lesson about what greatness is.
Yeah, and that is why Bumrah makes us sort of better than what we are.
But before we come to this, like, so our fourth inning starts, right? At the
No,
start
but
of the
before
fourth,
you go to that, Nikhil, one point on Rohit Sharma's captaincy. I think
oh yeah, obviously.
it was
That second
insipid
innings
in
was
the third innings.
zero
क्या
pressure, zero pressure.
हाँ, मतलब
उससे
रोहित शर्मा
सेकंड न्यू बॉल कितना लेट लिया वो देखा कि नहीं? सेकंड न्यू बॉल कितना
बहुत
लेट किया?
ज्यादा, like at least 10 overs or 15 overs late. I'm
13-14
forgetting.
ओवर बाद में लिया, 13-14
हाँ,
ओवर बाद में लिया.
यार 163 व 5 पे बैट को सराउंड करो यार, कहीं गलती से एक निकलेगा कहीं पे पकड़ो, खत्म करो. I mean, give runs away if you have to give some runs away. You should
yes.
look. I don't even know what. All right, so you're now chasing 230. The ineptness of our batting in that fourth innings is something to behold. You know, it's not about Hartley bowled how many good deliveries. Okay, so the one he got Bharat with is a proper peach. That's a proper delivery, right? What other than that? I mean, the new prince of Indian cricket seems to have hard hands on every single ball that he faces. I have a feeling there's a dengue issue for him. He's feeling underpowered after it, and dengue does this, man. Dengue reduces your strength in the muscles. I mean, I've had dengue, and it took a long time before I felt like my strength was back. I think he may be feeling underpowered, because of which he's pushing on the ball harder. Because that second innings dismissal of his, for an Indian batsman who's grown up on these pitches, that's a disgrace. That's literally a half volley from a left arm spinner that he's put into the hands of Silly Point.
That's how Ben Duckett got out in the first innings.
Just
in the
after
second test
Ben
match.
Duckett gets it off the shoulder of the bat.
Shoulder, हाँ,
This-
हाँ, ये तो
He tapped it, properly timed it, tapped it straight to Silly Point. What is
So
this?
now that we are on the topic of Shubman Gill, so I want to put a number up so that people get a perspective.
Oh, the
of
number is
what's-
very bad. It's very, very bad.
Yeah. So in his last 11 innings since June 2023, this is before the second test match, he scored 173 runs at an average of 17.30, with his highest score being 36.
Good
So
God.
take-
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's whichever way you cut it is bad. It's very bad.
The
very
problem is, say you drop Shubman Gill, right? You have to sort of there is a thing in baseball, they do DFA, designated for assignment or something. You have to almost put him on assignment, either Ranji Trophy or English county cricket. You cannot just drop them so that they play in limited overs games or something like that, or not play, or then take a break and stuff. Because it seems to be what Nikhil was saying, the post dengue effect, and there also seems to be technical flaws. The way he's going, Jimmy Anderson, if you saw him in the first innings of the second test match, it was a masterclass. He edged him twice, and then he kept moving his ball away till you just knew that sucker ball is coming, and he nicked it straight to the keeper. So and by the way, you guys talked about Bumrah in the second innings in this test match also. India was actually done for. The spinners were ineffective. It was Jasprit Bumrah who bowled 4 wickets and actually got us back into the test match.
Yeah,
So
I just want to add something on Shubman Gill. He's been dropped once because of technical problems. His main technical problem at that time was that when his bat comes down, it used to start wide, closer to third slip. That's the arc of the bat. And when it would come down, you can start there. There are a lot of great batsmen who started their bat there. Although you ideally want your backlift to start from first slip or towards the keeper, be that straight, you can start there. But then by the time you come down, you have to straighten the bat out.
correct.
He used to have an angled bat. His straight bat was not a perfectly straight bat. It used to be angled like that, which used to lead to a lot of inside edge dismissals. Right? He has not altered. We were told his technique has started to get sorted out. I don't see it. I don't see it. And in spinning conditions in particular, you have to defend with soft hands. If you're defending, it has to be soft hands. He doesn't have soft hands. And I get the feeling his dismissals in the 20s, because he's got to start, other than the second innings in the last test. First innings, he got to start. This innings, he got to start in the first innings as well, this test match. I just feel like he's not confident enough of his game overall. Even against I mean, they may have won the first test and Hartley may have taken 7. This English bowling lineup should not be one that worries you at home. Even then, I would say so. right?
So
And
here's
get the
my
feeling
take on
that
Gill.
he's not confident enough about his game to actually trust the fact that he can have a method, he can have a system by which he's going to go around playing. It just feels like the whole thing about his game is a little ad hoc right now.
My opinion on the whole Gill saga is I think he's struggling. He has a technical issue. That is all fine. But I won't call Gill a problem. Gill is a worry. A problem is what Shreyas Iyer is.
That's not a problem. That problem is solved as far as I'm concerned. It's just that we kept him in the team. The problem is solved. The answer is clear. अब आपको कुछ नहीं करना वो आपकी problem है.
यार
But
at
Shreyas Iyer
41
is not a problem to me. Please send him back to whichever IPL team will take him and let him play all his career there.
James Anderson at the age of 41 was bowling bouncers at 125 kilometers an hour. Shreyas Iyer was
अबे
backing
left arm
away
spinner
and
ने bouncer मारी है उसको यार.
हाँ,
उसको
left
left
arm
arm spinner यहाँ तक जलील हो चुका है वो. The left arm spinner comes over the stumps and tries to bowl a bouncer to him.
yes,
And then this guy, and you can see how rushed he is even in that full shot.
and I wish they actually told Mr. Gavaskar in his microphone that Shreyas Iyer does not play for Mumbai, so he can criticize him properly. Because Mr. Gavaskar
on
does
Gavaskar-
not bash him. Does not. Anyone else would. Yeah.
When Gavaskar wants to give technical commentary, I mean, it's still one of
It is the best.
all-time great technical batsmen ever, right? And so there was this phase when the Indian loss in the first test had become inevitable, and there was a lot of critique going on about Indian batting, right? So KP and Shastri, etc., were talking about how they didn't play aggressive enough. There weren't enough reverse sweeps. And Gavaskar pipes in and say, or you can use your feet. You know, this is what we've always done. If you watch Pujara for about 10 years batting in India,
Just
right?
about to say that.
From 2008, I mean, I remember his first test match against the first series that I think it was against Australia. And he made a habit of coming down the track, even to defend. Right? All you're trying to do is blunt the length and blunt the spin. That's all. I will happily take batsmen getting stumped. I have no problem getting stumped. But that means you are attacking the spinner. And attack doesn't even need to mean that you need to hit it out of the park. Attack means that you're using your feet and you're altering his length, you're altering the way he thinks. Now, you come down the track twice, right? He's going to go shorter. That's when you use the depth of your crease. This is how I've seen all the great batsmen bat on our soil. Do you remember that innings of 250 that Amla made along with Callis making 170? They batted at around a 50-55 strike rate. That's all. But this is what they kept doing to our spinners.
So Ian
And they won
Chappell,
that
actually,
innings.
Ian Chappell, when he was analyzing this, you remember that famous Sachin innings in '98 against Shane Warne in Chennai, right? Where he smashed him all around
Depth
the
of the
park.
crease or all the way, all halfway
Right.
down the pitch.
So he talked to Ravi Shastri, what should I do? And Ian Chappell actually said that Ravi told me. So Ravi Shastri said that I was tall, what Zach Crawley was doing. So I could come down and smother the ball before it was spinning or hit it when one is bowling before it spun. You can't do that because you are a foot shorter than me. So you have to take the aggressive option. So you have to use your feet. What you said, because Sunny Gavaskar is 5 feet too. KP and Shastri can say that because they are above 6 feet.
He's
So
5'5". He's not a China doll. He's not a Russian
Okay,
doll.
5'5".
5'5".
Okay, 5'5". Chalo, 3 inches more. Margin of error. How about that? I'll get my engineering judgment. But you know what I mean, right? Like it's basically he's almost a foot shorter than KP or what Shastri were, or at least 8 inches shorter. So Gavaskar knows all about using their feet. KP and Shastri were natural. So Zach Crawley, you saw playing beautifully yesterday because he was using his reach. Right, and the only and he was actually very poor when it came to using his feet, as evidenced is that's how he got out. You know, to albeit to a good
yesterday,
ball.
हमारा today ही है. We've just ended the day's play in
Today,
India.
yes. Please bear with me. मेरा रात को 3 बजे उठ के मैच देखिए. So admire my dedication. I'm coming.
वो भी today ही होता तेरे लिए.
हाँ today होगा technically तो पर after a 4-hour sleep सब उल्टा पुल्टा अंदर रहता है. But yes, so today that's what he was batting and that's what KPN were doing. But you are right, Gavaskar, when he wants to be technical, he's still one of the best. But यहाँ पे technical, and by the way, I don't know why Michael Atherton is not in the commentary box. He's traveling for the Times and he's in the media box writing reports every day. and he's, I think, one of the finest technical commentators there.
No,
So
I'm quite certain
No,
there are
Atherton
clauses.
works for Sky. He can't.
Okay, so he must have a
conflict.
non-compete. He must have a non-compete there.
okay.
Hmm.
Then because
Can't.
Hussain and Atherton, in my opinion, should commentate on every single England series. Period.
No,
They are
so
two
can
of
I
the
ask
best
this
English.
question? If Gill can't score runs, see, Iyer to next, जैसे ही विराट वापस आता है, Iyer is out because
No, I hope.
first of all, no, just to give everybody who doesn't follow the news, KL is injured for this match. He'll be fine from the next test match. Jadeja is out for the whole series, by the way. That's the news. And as a replacement for Jadeja were Sarfraz Khan and KL और जडेजा के जगह में Sarfraz Khan and Rajat Patidar आए थे. ये दो लोगों को लिया गया था. And obviously Rajat Patidar made his test debut. Again, he was playing fine. I think उसका थोड़ा bad luck था, वो जैसे out हो गया. It happens once in a while.
Hey, I read a story today that perhaps Virat might miss the whole series.
Me too. AB de Villiers ने कुछ ऐसा बोला कि his Anushka is pregnant. That's, I'm going by what Mufaddal.
Yeah, AB de Villiers ने बोला.
Anushka is pregnant, and I mean, obviously, till she delivers, I don't think Virat's coming back.
So yeah, I think we made a mistake in this match. I think we should not have picked Mukesh Kumar. We should have picked Washington Sundar. कोई point नहीं था मुकेश कुमार को लेके.
Arey, I don't even think Washington Sundar. You should have picked Sarfaraz Khan. Like, your issue is your batting. Keep bolster the batting. Na. Those four, if Ashwin, Kuldeep, Akshar and Bumrah cannot get you 10 wicket or 20 wickets on this pitch, then anyways Mukesh Kumar is not going to get you more.
Washington Sundar would have also bolstered the batting and bowling both. ना ऐसा तो नहीं है कि उसको जरा भी batting नहीं आती है.
हाँ नहीं ले सकते उसको. And Washington could have opened the test match bowling also. He would do, but by the way, the problem in this test match was.
I think the problem with this Washington Sundar approach is what we're seeing in our batting lineup. Yesterday, when Patidar was batting, right, they were 220 or 240 odd for 3. But when I looked down the lineup, I was like, man, this can whittle away really quickly, and it did. 390, you were done. That's after a guy plays. We will come to discussing this boy for sure. Plays. What an innings! What a batsman, man. He makes 207 out of 395. Right? Otherwise, you were dead. Why? Because from number 6 onwards,
he made so many runs. I should not be mad at him.
Number 6 onwards, everybody is a lottery batsman. I'm not saying Akshar is a bad batsman. Akshar is a decent batsman, but he's not a number 6 test match batsman.
No, absolutely
6 Akshar, Bharat 7, Ashwin 8. Right? I'm sorry, that's a little light. That's a little light.
Then it gets even lighter. 9, 10, 11 is Kuldeep.
Yeah.
I mean,
what happened to us when we gave 6 for 0 in that South Africa test match?
So
who was your number 8 in that match? Who was the number 8? It was Bumrah. Number 8 comes out to bat on a spicy pitch, and I'm seeing his average is 6.6. I mean, nobody saw 6 for 0 coming along. Wow.
No. Did you see how Bumrah got out yesterday? Rehan Ahmed beat his bat twice in a row. So then they put in a second slip, and he goes and edges straight to the slips in the next ball. It was just so sad.
Talking about Bumrah, can we just marvel at this? No, I want to watch this first.
Chronologically, yeah. Let's go Jaiswal first. Jaiswal deserves his, because yesterday there was a lot of criticism about India, and in that I think we missed out on, man, this kid's the real deal.
Mm-hmm.
He's got,
because I liked his batting in South Africa also.
He's got shots, he's got technique, he's got temperament, he's got tactics. He knows when to attack, when not to attack. In fact, I thought that he played an over-attacking innings in the first test. He didn't need to go the rate at which he was. And I was starting to get worried that they are ruining him again by making him over-attacking. I don't want him to be over-attacking. This guy has to be a bulk runs batsman, yeah, because he's made 200s and they're big daddy hundreds. This guy's obviously got the hunger. Like, he should be. You have to let this kid be and bat at the speed at which he wants to bat.
Boss, अपने पहले 5 टेस्ट मैच में अगर कोई डबल 100 बना देता है.
He was always about a 65-70 strike rate. This was perfect until he accelerated a little towards the end. It was a perfect innings.
No, but I'm still mad at him for that shot he played off Jimmy Anderson. यार क्या जरूरत थी उसको? मतलब इतना अच्छा करने के बाद उसने ऐसा कर दिया यार.
But by then you're 8-9 down ना यार, उसको पता है other end you don't know what's going on, right?
अरे देख भाई, कुलदीप को और कुछ नहीं आता, वो मगर टकू तो करता ही है ना कुलदीप.
ये यार बार यही कहता रहता हूँ, all of you have far too much faith in this team. I don't have that much faith.
I agree. Our tail is like a lottery. लग गए तो मतलब मोहम्मद शमी makes it a little better because he is actually not just हवा में जाके उठ
ये
के
लॉटरी भी ऐसी होती है जो कभी कभी लग जाती है, अपनी लॉटरी नहीं लगती उतनी। जब लगती है तो बड़ी लगती है, वो मैं मानता हूँ, बट इतनी नहीं लगती।
इतनी नहीं लगती। Yeah, but you are right. One does feel कि why did he play that shot? But I understand also why.
अच्छा चलो,
Sometimes it's also
मेरा
fatigue.
अभी जायसवाल का चर्चा हो रही है, मेरे को बोथ ऑफ यू गिव मी द आंसर फॉर दिस। चलो, एक ओपनर तो हमारा फ्यूचर का भी पक्का हो गया, ये 22 साल का बच्चा, ठीक है। अभी रोहित 1-1.5 साल, मैक्सिमम 2 साल खेलेगा, मैक्स 2 साल रोहित खेलेगा, मैं अज्यूम कर रहा हूँ। तो क्या गिल वापस ऊपर जाएगा? क्योंकि तूने नोट किया है, गिल जब तक ओपनिंग कर रहा था ना, उसके दोनों 100 और 450 एज एन ओपनर है टेस्ट क्रिकेट में। जब से गिल नंबर 3 पे आया है ना, वो पागल हो गया।
In my opinion, I think Gill should be given another chance as an opener, and Rohit should be sort of
Number
they
3.
should have an honest discussion. No, they should have an honest discussion with Rohit that how long does he see himself playing the game, and they have to slowly phase him out. Unfortunately, because what will happen is India mein always there is a problem. We never know when it is the right time to retire. We always wait for our stars to
I
too
think
late.
we let go of Pujara too early, yaar. I think that
Well,
was a
no kidding. No,
monumental error.
I completely agree with you. We let go of Pujara a little too early, but the problem is कि हमको लगा हम भी अपना baseball खेलेंगे।
अबे यार, जब खेल रहा था तो गालियां दे के पागल कर दिया था लोगों ने यार।
नहीं
शांति से
ना,
रहना बेचारे को यार।
मैं तो
not
हमेशा बोलता था पुजारा को
Not
नहीं
us,
ड्रॉप
but
करो।
you know what the pressure was like, यार. You
of
know how
course
everybody was on
नहीं
Pujara's
मतलब
case.
जो अभी गिल के साथ हो रहा है वही पुजारा के साथ हुआ था ना तब कि
देखो, I don't know who your second opener will be, but I want one thing done, right? You have the generation of the Pujara, Kohli, Rohit generation. They have produced successful batsmen for us. The generation after that, which is your Rahul, there is a line of Lordus whose name I'm going to take now. Rahul, Shreyas Iyer, Manish Pandey, क्या कहते हैं, Karun Nair, बहन का टका. There was one more, Mayank Agarwal. I want this generation to get skipped. They are not. They have not served.
मेरे को एक बात
Right?
बता,
I
हनुमा
would
विहारी ने
rather
क्या
take
गलत
this
किया?
transition phase. I would rather take this transition phase and go to the 21, 22-year-olds and not to the 28, 29, 30-year-olds.
नहीं, मगर हनुमा विहारी उसने क्या, उसको तो कभी चांस ही नहीं मिला, वो तो जब आता था खेलता था।
So again, the same disease, no, Kushal. He doesn't have a strike rate. I don't know what this obsession is.
By the way, speaking of Mayank Agarwal, I'm just glad he's okay. He had a bizarre health scare, by the way. He thought that he was drinking water from a bottle and it was some strange liquid and he had to be rushed to the emergency room. Like, serious? This happened yesterday or 2 days ago, I think. And he vomited and felt uneasy and something. And so I don't know what that liquid was and which moron was it that replaced the contents with something. But my God, it was he actually posted a picture. So
That's scary.
Prayers for him, and I'm glad he's doing well and stuff. But you're right that we have to think about the future, and for that you have to. First of all, we are blessed that we have people like Rajat Patidar, Sarfaraz Khan who are actually getting ready, gearing up to play
Virat
test
is
cricket.
not playing. If Virat is not playing in this series, do we drop Iyer in the next test and then bring Sarfaraz in? Because I mean, और क्या करेगा वो आदमी यार? नहीं तो रणजी बंद कर दो.
अय्यर को तो पिच पे पानी भी नहीं लाने देना.
हाँ, it is a no-brainer यार. It is a no-brainer. Iyer absolutely. Iyer should be the 15th man जो किट लेके आता है.
Because सरफराज को कब खिलाएंगे हम?
Next test match.
What more has Sarfaraz got to do?
India, unfortunately, it should have been this test match where Iyer should have been dropped and Patidar and Sarfaraz both should have played, right? And Sarfaraz has been a good player of spin also. He's been a pretty good player of spin.
But I just want to say this. I've dug a little bit into Sarfaraz and the reasons that this is not reasons you'll see a lot in written press. But it's the buzz around the cricket journalists that they've heard from the larger think tank around Indian cricket. They feel he's a little like Michael Nesser is for Australia, where the Australians feel that he may have the stats, but he's not an international cricketer. And they feel that about Sarfaraz. That Sarfaraz, he's going to be a top-class Ranji cricketer, but may not have it for international, like Sujit Somasundar was, or a lot of others who come over Ranji Kings.
Sarfaraz is going to be another Mumbai ka Amol Mujumdar.
So all I'm trying to say is that this appears to be the reason that they've given, but I would still say it may turn out to be that. I'm not. It may very well
but
turn out.
the reason.
But if you create this mountain of runs in Ranji cricket, you have to be given a chance. You can't
Exactly.
not be given a chance.
Amol Muzumdar
The
was
other
not
one
given
that
a chance.
they've not picked in this 15. My brother Rinku the Kinku, because
Yeah.
that guy, he's a fighter. That guy has hunger. He's a mongrel of a cricketer. वो उसको आप जो अपॉर्चुनिटी दोगे वो लड़ के अपना काम करेगा. And
he's like Ben Stokes.
He has got runs in Ranji cricket for fun. His average is insane, right?
No,
and he has different gears at which he bats. He can slow it down when he needs to, and my God, can he kill you when he wants to attack you?
Exactly why I said he's like Ben Stokes. जैसे Ben Stokes batting कर सकता है, gear switching gears.
Mentality पे chance देना चाहिए यार. That guy has the mentality.
If you ask me, and this is controversial, Kushal, I'm gonna actually tell you that ultimately you should phase out KL Rahul as well. You should phase out.
There's nothing controversial about it. You can't be a 32 test match average after 65 test matches.
KL Rahul and Rinku Singh should be brought in. Shreyas Iyer को तो drop ही कर देना चाहिए.
But Aadit, the thinking apparently in Indian cricket, and this really made my heart sink, is that KL is going to be your next captain before the younger generation's captain can be picked.
But that makes sense because he's a mature head and he was captaining decently in South Africa, boss. You have to do it.
For volume of runs, yaar.
भाई ऋषभ एक बार आ जाएगा तो थोड़ा बैटिंग बोल्स्टर हो जाती है ना, वो भी तो कंसीडर करना. अभी ऋषभ नहीं.
In my opinion, hold on. Why can't Rishabh be a captain? Why can't Rishabh be a captain?
यार उसकी कमेंट्री बंद हो जाएगी. हमारा एंटरटेनमेंट कैसा होएगा मैच में? स्पाइडरमैन गाना नहीं गाएगा फिर एज अ कैप्टन.
No, I just think that it's KL Rahul. For some strange reason, last 3 years we have just given a KL Rahul can do everything sort of mode. I think he's a great one-day player, but at Test match cricket, he's just not scoring as many runs. And Amol Muzumdar was not kept picked because the guy he was keeping out was Sachin Tendulkar. Sarfaraz Khan, or the guy keeping him out was Sachin Tendulkar. Sarfaraz Khan is being kept out by Shreyas Iyer. So he can be the Amol Muzumdar, but he's not being kept out by Sachin Tendulkar.
Yeah, with KL again,
I would not drop KL. I disagree with you too.
The thing with KL,
no, I'm not saying you drop KL. I'm saying you phase him out.
Drop him. What's the problem? Why not drop him? Why can't you drop KL?
You can, because you can't have 3 debutants, na. I think you can have 2 debutants.
This is what transitions look like. Yeah, when Kohli comes back, you get bolstered again. This is what transitions look like. You have to make bold choices in a transition. You are willing to rely on KL and Shreyas in a transition. I am not. That's the first point of distinction that we have, right?
Not Shreyas. Not Shreyas.
I specifically said I look at that entire generation of batsmen. We've tried them at different times, different places. They all have the same thing. They succeed for a bit and then they are consistent failures. KL Rahul will mark this with 4 underlines under it. Find a way to let you down every single time when it counts. He will also tantalize you with some exceptional innings, because this guy, when he's batting well, looks like he's got God's technique. Okay? Yeah. But God's technique cannot give you returns of a 32 test match average after 65 test matches. Even though you have away innings.
Nikhil and I were talking. What's Sai Sudarshan as a future number 3? किसी ने देखा Sai Sudarshan को बैटिंग करते हुए?
In the ODI matches against South Africa.
Gujarat Titans boy. he's outstanding. By the way,
so that's what I'm saying. I want this generation to be tested.
No,
I want the 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds to play.
Nikhil, we forget. No. Kushal, 1 second.
I think this is the best suggestion. In the meantime, KS Bharat, कौन खिला रहा है इसको? मेरे को अभी चिल्लाना पड़ रहा है.
By the way, कल भी उसने stumping छोड़ दिया था Ollie Pope का.
No, the answer to this is Dravid had in fact provided it in some informal comment. I don't remember exactly where. Now he says, I could play KL Rahul as a test match keeper on a hard bouncy track. It's an easier task to keep. Of course, you have diving catches, etc. to take. But this up and down for a 5 test match series to spinners in India, that really is a specialist keeper's job. Yeah, he let Ollie Pope go, but on the whole, I like Bharat's keeping. And I think his batting is also improving a little bit. In any event, whoever is the keeper is a stopgap till Rishabh finds himself again, right? Like that's all it is. So it doesn't really make a difference in that sense. KL Rahul.
Why not Ishan Kishan, yaar?
यार एक लप्पा हटा के दूसरा लप्पा लगा दो यार, तो उसके बाद बोलते रहना अगली पॉडकास्ट में लारा लप्पा इसका भी हो गया यार. Like these guys they swing across the line for everything, yeah.
No, but
This guy wants to hit everything on the leg side. Ishan
Kishan.
Ishan, you know where Ishan Kishan should have got his chance? When they were picking Surya Kumar Yadav in the World Cup at number 6, number 7. That's when Ishan Kishan should have got his chance ahead of Surya. But you didn't pick him then.
But you were asking about the opener, na? There is an opener, by the way, that you can have Abhimanyu Ishwaran.
Yeah.
He can be mentored to take over Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, you bring in that generation, I have no complaints. Kushal, please do the honors and bring up the Bumrah magic ball.
यार मतलब यार इससे अच्छी बॉल यार मतलब what a man, what a player. Oh man, this is magic. Just watch this ball. Oh,
What a ball! What a bowler! Do you ever know what's coming next with Jasprit Bumrah?
look at that. Look at that ball coming in.
The
I have
only
to
bad
watch it
thing
again.
about it is that Harsha Bhogle is calling.
With as gorgeous a Yorker as any you will see.
Yeah, now let us watch it in mute. Oh, what an absolute beauty, man. What an absolute beauty. This man is a magician. Have you ever seen better fast bowling than this in India?
No.
Listen,
James
let's dial it
Anderson,
down.
that's it.
Yeah, no. We haven't seen Kapil Dev, so let's dial it down. Kapil is a cricketer who took 100 wickets and scored 1,000 runs in one calendar year in international cricket.
Yeah.
He has taken a 9 for 81 against West Indies at home.
I know someone who was at the stadium because it happened in Ahmedabad. I know someone at the stadium who had seen 9 wickets, and they claimed that it was one of the most incredible spells ever. It's a BCCI is again tragedy kings that they don't freaking show the archives that they have, because this happened in 1980s, right? So they should have some video. They should have some videos there. But of course, you know, कौन इतना पैसा है YouTube पे कौन खर्चा करेगा? So I don't know why they're doing it. But I'll tell you one thing, right? What he said about Jasprit Bumrah and reverse swing, Nikhil, isn't it incredible that all the talk about spinners and the 9 wickets are taken by 2 fast bowlers? James Anderson bowled a brilliant
spell.
That's
not that rare in India. You know when it became rare? It became rare with the Shiv Sena pitch era. By the way, I have a term for the kind of bowling for this ball that we saw from Bumrah and that Jamal ball that was bowled to. I call these Viagra balls because these things just where it counts the most. This is a proper Viagra. I saw it. I just popped out. I was like, that. My tweet was that tingled in other parts, man. That just you have a feel forever for that kind of ball. When you see it live, replays, you can see 100 replays, doesn't matter. But when you see it live out of the blue, oh my God, what a moment.
You know, there was a similar ball he bowled to Johnny Bairstow in England, similar Yorker, and where he completely clean bowled him. It was at par with that. And you know, when we saw Wasim Akram, you and I are kids of the 90s, we saw Wasim Akram bowling reverse swinging Yorkers. हमें ऐसा लगता था कि ऐसा इंडिया का कौन आएगा? Zaheer Khan had some potential, but Bumrah does it with.
That has bowled some gorgeous Yorkers. He's bowled
but Bumrah does it with Wasim Akram level regularity.
But Bumrah another layer. He's another level.
Yeah, he does it with. He just does it that. So I mean, it's a
very simple thing. Zach was a phenomenal bowler. I'm a huge fan of Zaheer Khan. Fantastic skills. But Zaheer Khan is not a great or legendary cricketer, not a great or legendary bowler. Jasprit Bumrah, I don't care if he retires today. To my eyes, he retires as someone who has greatness to his skill set, like genuine greatness.
No, and let me tell you something.
And he's a matchmaker.
So this is also So Bumrah, Akshar Patel, all of them happened to be in the same 3-4 year period for Gujarat cricket, where they won the Ranji Trophy, and everyone was like, "Arey, kaise ekdam Gujarat won the Ranji Trophy?" Because Gujarat was not a powerhouse of cricket, because all these players were developed, right? Priyank Panchal is another batsman who unfortunately never got a chance. You know, he kept scoring runs for fun in Ranji Trophy and stuff. But the selectors have.
ये भी जरा मोदी जी के मैनिफेस्टो में डलवा दो तो फिर
कौन? अरे तब तो मोदी जी प्रेसिडेंट थे जीसीए के.
और क्या चाहिए? मैंने बुमराह दिया तुम्हें. मुंबई इंडियंस कौन है?
मुंबई. No, but it is true actually. His reverse swing and his fast bowling was developed when he was bowling in the Ranji Trophy. Mumbai Indians the unfortunate part is the Mumbai Indians bit was good to propel him into sort of, get him a good paycheck and stuff. But
Yeah,
uska reverse
but
swing.
this is the opportunity to talk about two genuinely. So let's talk about three performances in the last 2 weeks that we've seen that I think are these are not. You see obviously volumetric performances in Test cricket. Batsmen will score big, bowlers will get bunches of wickets from time to time. But I think three performances in a row over the last 2 weeks. Shamar Joseph's spell. He bowled 150 Ks for 9 overs. In his ninth over, his pace didn't drop. It was an incredible spell of bowling, right? Then Ollie Pope, that 196 is as good an innings as I've seen from a foreign batsman. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the very best because there have been some exceptional foreign innings, batsmen played by innings played by foreign batsmen in India, but it was something really, really extraordinary, especially given the match conditions, the match situation, and the way he turned it around. And the third are these two spells by Bumrah today. My God, that spell at 110 for one, England had us by the throat. Axar bowls the first over of that spell, and he gets Crawley off the second ball. And like I said, it was a really well bowled ball. But every single ball that Axar bowled in that spell was a smart delivery. He was doing something or the other. He's sometimes shooting it in. He's sometimes creating the angle. He turned one, ripped one past the bat, I think of Pope, before Pope got out. It was just a stunning delivery, right? And then what Bumrah did to Joe Root, it's I was looking at like the analogy in my mind was it's the way you make scrambled eggs, right? Like that's what he did to his brains. He just scrambled.
He bullied him. He bullied him. That's the only way to say
it. It reminded me of almost, when Ishant Sharma early in his career had the wool on Ponting. Ponting did not know which one's coming in, which one's going away, which one's coming in, which one's going away. He just did not know where to put his bat. And the effect of that, if you're looking at Root today, and you remember repeatedly in our podcast, I used to talk about Kohli's technical flaw. The right leg is breaking the line of off stump.
Yes.
And therefore the head is leaning even further over. He doesn't know which line to defend anymore. He just does not know with Bumrah which line to defend. He broke Root's brain in this spell. Root will have to, in contrast, right, when reverse swing is going big, this is not even big reverse swing this was a great reverse swing spell, but we've seen very big reverse swing spells by a lot of bowlers, right?
Wasim.
And I remember Dravid Tendulkar used to have their back foot on leg and middle bini, leg he. The front foot would go off and middle, barely ever break even off, and they would play within the line of the stumps, right? So you block everything that's coming into your stumps, and anything that gets outside the line of your right eye, you let that go. That's how you tackle when reverse swing is really good. Then when they make mistakes on length, you can hit them. That's when you start hitting. But Root right now is literally like that. He edged that ball on the ninth stump. And this is the exact dismissal that Kohli had for 3 years. This exact predicament. I'm getting LBW.
Not 3 years. Also in South Africa a few weeks ago.
So that's maybe more of a attacking based weakness, but that the technical flaw, Kohli has most definitely ironed that flaw out. 100%. I can tell you over the last 1 year watching his batting, his back leg is not getting as far across anymore. 100%. I can tell you that. And that's why
can we say one thing, guys, though? This has been the best home series we've watched in a long time in India.
और can I ask this question? क्या प्रॉब्लम थी इसके पहले ऐसी पिचेस बनाने को? क्या प्रॉब्लम है ये पिच में? वाहियात लोग घटिया पिच बना रहे थे.
No, the only thing I can think of, Kushal, is the WTC cycle is a 2-year cycle, and that puts a little bit of stress on winning your home matches comprehensively. That's the problem I think that's happened. You can't.
Unfortunately, this started, and people jump when I say this, but this started under Dhoni. When he was the captain, you pick basically raging turners.
When under Dhoni?
Yeah, when we lost that England series, after we lost that England series in 2012, there is a clear inflection point, and then the stupidity of producing at least 1 or 2 Bunsen burners per series started.
And then we played. When England came after that, played a 5-match series. There were big runs. Australia came. There were big runs.
No. So there were. I'm telling you,
Australia की border Gavaskar Australia का क्या सारे turning pitches थे.
That's in 18. I'm saying it's in 2018 is my inflection point. I agree.
No, I think 2012-13 it started getting, after that series happened, the 2-1 England.
You're not understanding what Aadit is saying. Aadit is saying that inflection point के बाद 2 pitches were like that. Basically, by the time we reached 17, 18, 5 pitches were like that.
Exactly. So basically, all your
I
deciding
don't
test.
recall that, yeah. I don't recall that, to be honest. When I saw the pitches that were coming in 18, na,
And if you remember, I'll give you an
I was like,
example.
ये तो
In
बहुत ही ज़्यादा
2000,
हो.
no, 2016, में remember that Steve O'Keefe test match in Pune? We completed.
Was that
did a-
16 or 18? That's the one I'm confused.
16. No, that was 16.
So that is my cutoff point. That particular test match is where I started feeling.
But
like
उससे पहले भी there were series when it happened, but there was only
but
one.
South
even
Africa
that,
wali.
but even those
South
pitches,
Africa
like
wali
Pune,
series.
that was a Pune test match where Steve O'Keefe took 14 or 15 wickets or whatever it was, right?
Well,
Even that pitch, Steve Smith makes 100 odd. We struggled on that pitch, but it wasn't the scale of messiness that we created, for example, in Indore and Delhi and other places over the last 5 seasons. The remainder of that series had solid pitches, right? And we used to beat anybody on a solid pitch. They also drew a test match or two on a solid pitch. Peter Hanscom developed his reputation as a good player of spin doing this. We went down that path. With our bowling lineup, we really shouldn't be doing that.
We shouldn't be, and this makes for fun viewing. I remember last week when I was like I was talking to my wife, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't wait till it's 10 o'clock. That's when the game starts here, and I was up till 4 or 5 watching the game, and she was like, I have not seen you this excited about Test cricket in India for a long time. I was like, for the first time we have a competitive series where both teams are actually going at each other. And let me tell you guys, even though we are ahead by 170, I wouldn't say that we are completely out of this test match.
Against England, you have to score 350 and above.
Easy, minimum, because this wicket is...
In other words, don't go and screw up the next 2 sessions. If you screw up, if you bat 2 sessions well, you're going to be totally in command of this test.
I'm telling you, the biggest challenge is going to be the second session with James Anderson reverse swinging the ball. If we can
by then,
not
if
lose,
you made 80 in the first session and lost only say 1 or 2, then you're well on top.
So, but then our next 3 wickets are Gill, Rohit, and out of form Rohit Sharma, or middle form Rohit Sharma, and Shreyas Iyer. So it's a very dicey situation, and you hope that Yashasvi Jaiswal has it in him to play another big innings, because I don't have.
No, we have to talk about our batting performance. We had everybody getting a start, basically, and getting out. It's ridiculous. You cannot have that in such a batting lineup. Number 8,
we should have had at least 470 or 450. The way the starts were going and the partnerships were developing, instead 396 mein khatam ho gaye. And that too, we got lucky because Yashasvi just went berserk on the last day. Like when he was smashed, and the funniest thing was he smashed a 6 and a 4, and Murli Karthik was screaming on the commentary box ki why is he taking risks? He should just knock it around. I'm like, kya bakhwas kar rahe ho yaar? So it's just in any ways.
The comment I'd made on this, Kushal, was these guys don't play dot balls, right? So when dot balls happen in a clump for them, they end up playing a rash shot. Now, sometimes you get away with it, sometimes you won't get away with it. So the real key, I think that's what you're alluding to, is how many of those 10 wickets were taken by a bowler on skill and merit? And the answer is barely any. I mean, Anderson took on skill and merit.
Anderson took on skill and merit.
Yeah, Gill he got Gill with a lovely ball.
No, and Ashwin. Oh my God, that ball to Ashwin.
Ashwin को तो खोल दिया.
And the funniest thing was 5 minutes before they were saying
LBW, like he nailed him, completely nailed him.
5 minutes before they were saying Anderson doesn't swing much when there is not a cloud cover, and then he produces that pitch to Ashwin and like say it. It was absolute gem. But
giving wickets to like freaking Rehan and what is that guy Bashir and freaking Hartley.
Okay, I want to talk about that Bashir controversy also.
Before you talk about the controversy, I'll tell you why we gave that wicket to Bashir. They actually did a great comparative analysis where India was having their field completely wrong to Zach Crawley, where they had the leg sleep, which was very fine, right? For Rohit Sharma, it was a little square. For Rohit Sharma, they had it fine and 2 steps ahead. So the ball where Zach Crawley, was flicking away for 4s, Rohit Sharma got out to a similar ball to Shoaib Bashir. So
that might be the difference in our use of data and their use of data.
Ben Stokes. So this again, I found out because I listened to Talk Sport. Harsha Bhogle said this, that England's umpires actually wear cameras in county cricket, and so they can get data from where the ball is pitching, how the batsman's technique is based on those camera and their delivery. That is the level of data analysis that goes on in English cricket right now.
That's
And
stunning.
Ben Stokes. So if you saw yesterday when India was bowling, Ben Stokes was at the field. He was actually looking at Rohit Sharma's field placements, and he said that in the first innings, that I actually looked at India's field placements and set my fields accordingly how they're doing, because they have a better judge of how the ball will bounce and how the bounce goes and stuff. That is so. Unfortunately, if India loses this series, it will be to Ben Stokes' captaincy. Because not only is England playing that man is proving to be a tactical genius, and you saw that in multiple. The England team is not as good as It's both as the cliche goes, right? The sum of the parts is greater than the parts itself. That's how England is playing right now. Yeah, Kushal, you were saying something, so I just had to make that point.
Okay, yeah. So let's now look at this news segment. It was a very interesting comment made by Telegraph. So Telegraph said England should refuse to play in the first test after India's shameless Shoaib Bashir stunt. उसमें shameless क्या था? By the way, they applied for his visa while he was in
Yeah,
Abu Dhabi.
you should end all of this with 2 words. Fuck off, yeah. Fuck off. You want to not play? Fuck off. ये कोई तरीका है? We have visa rules. Your visa rules you didn't apply properly. You didn't make it on time. Tough luck, yeah. Get on with it. What is this refuse to play rubbish? If you want to refuse to play, fuck off.
And you know what the funny bit is? They make it sound as if India does it all the time. Just last year, ये हुआ था. याद है?
No. In fact, we do it all the time. To Pakistani origin cricketers, we have a rule in place. Usman Khwaja suffered this as well. You should have known this.
No, and they know who this coach is? He was an ex-Indian player, Sridharan Sriram.
Yeah, and he could not go to Pakistan.
Huh.
So what are they talking about? What was the controversy about? I did not even understand. ये last year हुआ था ये. He could not go to Pakistan.
ऐसा है, शुक्र मना लो ये पहला टेस्ट मैच इतने epic तरीके से जीत गया. One of the greatest test. To me, it is the worst test loss I have ever experienced at home. I have not seen a test match that I am more depressed about and more shocked at the loss by.
No, right? I'll tell you this. No,
I'll tell you one test match. वरना इनकी whinging जो होती है ना वो अलग ही लेवल की. ये microscopic level whinging करते हैं.
The 2004 Australia tour of India was still the most heartbreaking losses, in my opinion, of that.
But I didn't look at that team and think this team can't get it done. And Tendulkar was injured. He had that tennis elbow. We lost some matches when he had that tennis elbow. He came back for the Mumbai test and he played us phenomenal. Him and his partnership with BBS and that Bunsen. My God, what a partnership that was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Like huge amounts of dust being kicked up every time they drove the ball. And they attacked. They attacked in that partnership.
Brett Lee still claims that the six that Sachin hit is the biggest six you've seen.
Chennai last day gets rained out. Last day you need 200 odd to win. Sehwag on form. That you didn't get that shot.
Yeah.
Right? So you lost a Bangalore test. You lost a Nagpur test. Nagpur, Dada pulled up. He needs to explain that one. Saw green top.
Nagpur was a BCCI politics test.
Yeah. He saw green top and he decided meko nahi khelna. So that was not a series that I look at and I think.
That's when Dada will one day become BCCI president.
When I look at this loss, na mere ko thoda structural problem lag rahi hai Indian team mein. I'm very worried our downward spiral has started. Okay, don't be misguided by one exceptional innings by Jaiswal and a phenomenal bowling performance by Bumrah. As a consistent team performance, it's starting to look a little bit shaky to me. Because eventually in the next 4-5 years, Virat will go. 3-4 years perhaps, Virat will go. Rohit even sooner than that, right? Now, where are your bulk runs going to come from? All right, Yashasvi steps up, fair enough. Shubman has not stepped up as yet. KL has been given more chances than God. He hasn't stepped up. Maybe KL will do an Ishant Sharma and after 70 test matches realize how to play test cricket. I don't know. Perhaps he'll do that. Because Ishant took 70 test matches to become one of the best bowlers around the place, right? Maybe Shreyas ko to main baat nahi karne wala. So that has to be replaced and somebody else will have to come in. So to me, it's a really, really worrying time for Indian cricket overall.
One more news that I wanted to share.
Talent line, मेरे को नहीं talent line दिखती यार इतनी. I'm sorry, मेरे को इतना supply line नहीं दिखती.
I just want to take this opportunity to congratulate Jay Shah as his term as the president of the Asian Cricket Council has been unanimously extended by 1 year. I just had to share this news.
इससे बेटर ना रशिया में इलेक्शन करवा लो.
ऐसे नहीं होता. Jay Shah voted for Jay Shah that मैं वापस.
Yeah, this is like Putin getting elected in Russia or Idi Amin getting elected in Uganda. Okay, like, this is nothing to. This is not an election. It's a conferral.
No. I protest this because you are comparing Asian Cricket Council to at least a partly functional country. I don't think Asian Cricket Council is that also.
Which reminds me, because back to that Champions Trophy का क्या होगा यार? It's supposed to be in Pakistan, ना?
नहीं वो तो नहीं होगा. नहीं मतलब ये तू भी ऐसी मतलब what the hell? I mean what the hell? कोई गल नहीं.
I wanted to make a bad joke. like Champions Trophy अगर वही शोएब बशीर का वीजा actually शायद वहाँ approve हो जाए. But no, नहीं होगी. I don't.
वहाँ तो हमारे वीजा दिनाए होंगे ना.
हाँ भाई नहीं. There is a rumor ना. I have actually read a rumor to do a hybrid Champions Trophy.
हाइब्रिड क्या है? T20 आधा T20 आधा 50.
नहीं
दो कंट्रीज में, आधा
UAE में,
आधा UAE में, आधा पाकिस्तान में और फाइनल UAE में होंगी.
और इंडिया अगर सेमीफाइनल फाइनल में आया तो सब कुछ UAE में होगा, तो बाकी सब पाकिस्तान में होगा. तुमको जो करने का करो. इंडिया का स्वैग है. मेरे मन को भाया, मैं कुत्ता काट के खाया.
But
जगीरा analogy.
I have no problems with this. Pakistan, tough luck. जो जैसी करनी वैसी भरनी.
हाँ, I mean it's as simple as that. You do actually Dhoni got into. Remember that 2009 attack when Sri Lankan team was attacked in Pakistan.
There is a famous आजकल जो the younger generation says ना the phrase fuck around and find out. Pakistan's fuck around phase was for 20 years from 1980 onwards. This is their find out phase. This find out phase is going to last longer than the fuck around phase. So they will slowly get loaded.
Yeah. And I have no sympathy. You know, England and Australia start whining, "Arey, you have to think about World Cricket." No, you don't. You think about World Cricket. That means when Pakistan comes to India to play a World Cup, there should have no problems playing, which is what we gave that hospitality last year to Pakistan. But beyond that, there is nothing. India has no obligation to play bilateral series to Pakistan. World Test Championship में my stand has been consistent that is also an ICC tournament. अगर आपको उसमें खिलवाना है तो लंदन वन या दुबई में खिलवा दो 2 टेस्ट मैच and to include for World Test Championship. But उसके अलावा I don't support them doing bilateral series till this situation in the mess in Pakistan is cleared. Simple.
In other words, never.
Every time we open it up, then we play each other for 4 years. Some attack happens and then you stop for 14 years. This natak has gone on for like
God knows. In fact, always predictable. It was always every time we have opened the doors, they have gone, and eventually whoever's in charge of the military industrial complex immediately conducts an attack. They cannot in that framework they cannot have normalization at all.
Exactly. In 2008 we opened the IPL for them.
अभी क्वेश्चंस ले लेते हैं because I have to wrap it up also. So Gill, Jaiswal, Ritu, Sai Verma in our future in the batting order. बोलो भाई.
Maybe not Verma. I haven't seen much of Verma. Rituraj and Verma I haven't seen much.
Tilak Verma looks a good batsman, but long format में क्या किया यार अभी तक?
So Gaikwad can't be our test match opener. Gaikwad can't be our test match opener.
Abhimanyu Ishwaran, man. Abhimanyu Ishwaran and Yashasvi Jaiswal. They are 2 our openers.
अच्छा ये अच्छा क्वेश्चन है. Thoughts on Mukesh Kumar and should Umesh Yadav have been there instead of Mukesh? Hell yes.
Umesh has a killer record in India, boss. You can't compete with Umesh's record in India.
Okay, I actually don't think Umesh should be picked because I think Umesh is done. He has at most 1 season left, right? And India mein, first of all, if Bumrah is playing, Umesh should be playing only if Bumrah is not playing. Because if Bumrah is playing, you have your one fast bowler. Right. The question is whether they're mentoring Mukesh Kumar for something. But if you want to be effective in India, you have to be bowling at 140 or you have to be as good as James Anderson. Mukesh Kumar does not have that express pace of Bumrah, so he's actually been rather ineffective. And by the way, in this innings, there was another thing. Ravichandran Ashwin did not look the same.
He's not looked at for 3 innings now. He's
Yeah,
got
he's
and
not looked
to be
that
clear
good.
on this, Ashwin is 37. The tolerance with him will be low.
I think once he gets number 500, and if he does not get, I think the unfortunate part with Ashwin is the end of Ashwin's era is going to be similar to the end of Kumble's era, where it just hastened and it didn't even last a series. I love Ashwin. I think he's a phenomenal bowler, but unfortunately, it's now telling slowly. And when
I
we
think
are
he'll
not,
be fine. I think he'll be
Yeah,
fine.
I wouldn't write Ashwin off yet.
no, I'm not
He'll be
writing him
fine.
off. I'm telling you
Anna will sort it out.
I agree. I hope he comes back, but also we have not played on Bunsen burners. These
I'm
have
just
been
saying,
very
no,
different
so
wickets.
that
be
to
fine.
me, I think more reflective of Jadeja. Jadeja is
Haan,
just
Jadeja to yes.
a very ordinary bowler. Not ordinary, but he's a reasonable bowler, not a great bowler without that kind of assistance.
Yeah. Again, I'm not saying that I'm not writing up Ashwin's epitaph. I think he'll still have a comeback, but we'll see. Let's see.
Should physical fitness yo-yo test wali be the criteria for test cricket selection? Sarfaraz should
I
make
think
his
it
debut.
is. I think it is, and it should
I think
be.
it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah. No.
India
And
mein to
Shreyas,
hota hi hai.
Fitness.
and I completely support the second comment. Shreyas should be out. Sarfaraz should be it.
I saw him running around. He was on the 12th man. If he is good enough and fit enough to be your 12th man for 20 overs a day, why do you think he's not fit enough to field? So I don't understand. If this was like an audition to see if
No,
he's effective.
if Sarfaraz is in the playing 15,
Yeah.
then obviously this yo-yo test and all of that is done.
Yeah.
He's not. There's no exclusionary point to him at all. Then
Correct. Yeah. So no, absolutely. And he's no Rakeem Cornwall, yeah. Our guys are talking about Sarfaraz as वो Rakeem Cornwall है West Indies का spinner ऐसे. Calm down.
अरे हमारे पवार साहब भी थे ना.
हाँ, Ramesh Powar. Yeah. Or who's that?
उसके बारे में कुछ नहीं बोलना.
नहीं मतलब हम
मस्त था यार
कुछ
रमेश
बोल ही
पवार,
नहीं
मस्त था
सकते. But he had this amazing off spinning action ऐसे ऊपर से loop करके डालता था ना.
अरे मस्त बॉलर था यार, गॉगल्स पहन के मतलब साला हिप होके आता था. He was great watching him. यार attitude था.
People will forget, but in 2007 when India toured England and there was Dravid's last series as captain, our one-day bowling spin attack was Ramesh Powar and Piyush Chawla.
Yeah.
And the craziest stat about Piyush Chawla that people still are like, how the hell? He's younger than Virat Kohli.
Dude, the thing with Piyush Chawla is he looked like an uncle when he was 20. If
You
you
just
met
felt like
20-year-old
his natural progression is successor to Rajiv Shukla.
If you met 20-year-old Virat, you'd be like, let's have a beer. If you met 20-year-old Piyush, you'll be like, ये लो चाय का प्याला.
हाँ, एक समोसा और जलेबी खाते हैं अंकल के साथ और WhatsApp फॉरवर्ड भेजते हैं.
Okay, one last story that I wanted to talk about before we wrap up today. मेरे कलेजे को ऐसे खुशी हुई है ना ये न्यूज़, ये ट्वीट देख के. So basically, Rondu do dekho, fills me with dread. The IPL owner will have no interest in red ball cricket. And if other countries follow suit, who will defend the championship? The game is surely up. Basically, IPL owner हैम्पशायर को खरीदने के लिए एडवांस टॉक्स में. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ऐसा कुछ नहीं होने वाला है क्योंकि वोटिंग राइट्स का जो सिस्टम है इंग्लिश काउंटी क्रिकेट में बहुत अलग है. मगर मैं तुमको बोलता हूं, इफ यू वुड हैव फ्लिप्ड दिस सिचुएशन अराउंड and one of our teams was going to be bought by these bastards, none of these people would have cared. इनको सिर्फ क्योंकि हमारे यहां से कोई बंदा इनको खरीद, they should be happy that we are putting money in their system. There are only 3 teams in the entire English county circuit that have major chunk ownership. Non-members don't have a say. One of them is Hampshire. Only 3 teams.
Yeah,
they have so many teams.
Only thing is that you picked up random people and a random comment. English sport administration, from if the English Premier League is any example, they will take money wherever it comes from and in whatever form it comes.
And they should.
So, yeah. So the actual powers that be who are making the decisions, they are not worried about any of this.
No. So hold on. Who was this whining about? It was just some random war, right?
He's English, yeah. Whinging is
No. So I'll tell you. Let me give.
No. He's a cricket advocate, writer. He's a writer. He writes cricket full time.
नाम क्या है उनका?
James Morgan, the full toss.
So my point is, he forgets that in 2010 Hampshire already did with Rajasthan Royals. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
IPL का हो चुका है. That did
yeah,
not
yeah,
work out for 3 years.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
Hampshire
In fact,
went back to Hawks,
their
and now they are
analysts were very
Capitals.
useful in winning the first IPL. That's what.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
अरे
It's
यार,
always been.
देखो, IPL is the only franchise जहाँ England actually has two teams. Gujarat Capitals is Gujarat Titans is owned by CVC Capital, which is a British firm, right? And so is Rajasthan Royal. They have England. So I don't know what are they whining. IPL has British influence. हम लोग थोड़ी रोते हैं that how can IPL have British
See,
influence and so forth.
just so that they whine a little more, we should buy 2 more teams.
No, we should absolutely.
Just to annoy them, we should buy it.
If we really want them whinging, please don't fuck up my next 2 sessions tomorrow, and then fucking give it to them in the next 3 test matches. इनका जो रोना है ना, वो बिलकने वाली आवाज ना पेपर के थ्रू आती है मेरे को पढ़ते।
Absolutely.
बड़ा मजा आता है।
No, and my controversial point to them is always कि आप Harrods चला गया, आप नहीं रोए थे, आप क्रिकेट टीम के लिए क्या रो रहे हो
Almost
यार?
as good as listening to the Lily tweets after Ram Mandir. I'm telling you, the English cricket commentary is as much fun.
Yes, but I will tell
Does
you this.
India really want to play this cricket? Is this the way to play?
Yeah, is this English? Because again, English commentators is played by basically saste versions of Jeff Boycott. All their old school talks, they are still a little entitled and stuff, minus the quirkiness and humor of what Jeffrey Boycott had, right? So they're still their entitlement. But I will say this series has been heck of a fun to watch, and kudos to English cricket for adopting this baseball approach. It's not just mindless slogging; it's actually an aggression that has the potential to change our Test cricket for the good. Right. And
I think England in this series has played far better than Australia.
Much better. If Test match cricket is on its way up, we have 2 teams to thank in the last week. One is the West Indies and England, because they actually provided that spice in that thing. Because I love to see India beat teams 5-0, but my God, when England won and West Indies won, that day was one heck of a day for Test cricket. We were all biting our nails, and we haven't had that day in a long time. I don't know. Do you guys remember when we had 2 Test matches within 4 hours of each other that were this engrossing?
बहुत बार होते हैं, मगर वो
I'm saying in the last 5-6 years,
a single day of Test cricket that good, no way.
मुझे याद ही नहीं है यार कि पिछले 5-6 साल में ऐसा कुछ डे आया होगा. Not even in the last 7 or 8 years, a single day good this competitive.
अभी अफगानिस्तान और इनका भी तो टेस्ट मैच चल रहा है, श्रीलंका का. बाय द वे, वो विकेट कीपर का कैच देखा? अफगानिस्तान श्रीलंकन विकेट कीपर का, अगर नहीं देखा तो जाके देखना.
Bro, there are other keepers and in fact, people from slips have caught similar catches, but the amount of angle he covered was really phenomenal. Yeah, even after covering with his legs, his left hand had to go out quite wide to catch. It was a cracker of a catch.
Yeah, so somebody had said Bhuvi is killing in Ranji. We had discussed this in the last podcast. We're not going to cover it in this one. Adit and I had. Somebody asked, is Indian bowling both pace and spin on decline? I don't agree. It is not on decline. Yeah, हर time होता है, फिर suddenly कोई bowler आ जाता है. I don't agree. It's on decline.
No, Indian batting is on the decline. Bowling isn't.
It's a phase. I think we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's not.
We'll produce batsmen. Yeah, batsman is our thing. We produce them. There's no problem.
No, we will. I'm just saying it is if you are asking what between both of them, what is sort of I think Indian bowling is doing just fine, and we have good sort of backups also.
Yeah, I think, and as far as just one last word, as far as Ravichandran Ashwin is concerned, I think we should consider him like a James Anderson, जो सिर्फ टेस्ट मैच खेले और उसको बोल दो बाकी कुछ मत खेल, and just keep playing. I think he will be fine. उसकी कोई इशू नहीं है. IPL खेले और
but just to put something out there on Ashwin, he's got this series. There's no question on that. He'll get his 3 test matches. But if his age is such that if he doesn't bowl well here, now the problem that happens for him is this: we only have a couple of series at home which are minor series, which will be New Zealand and I think Bangladesh, right? Otherwise, this is mostly a T20 year. Then when we go to Australia in 20 and towards the end of the year, does Ashwin make the trip if he's not bowling well in this series?
Yeah. This is a make or break.
Not bowling well in the middle.
Let's see.
That becomes the issue.
And Australia has a full 5 test match series this time.
And I'll leave this to you for the next time we guys catch up. How long do you persist with Sharma as captain? At some point, this has to transition.
Australia is the last series.
Australia.
You have England 6 months later.
That's
No,
fine.
we.
You start
I think
transitioning.
we. I think till the end of 2025, till the next WTC cycle. After
My
that,
th-
change.
but
Okay,
regardless of
but is he in good enough run? So run making form will also influence that, of course.
Yeah, so he will score runs. I
in
think. I
Australia,
think.
I would pick Rohit Sharma in a heartbeat. Anyways, I think he'll do far better. He's a much better player, when in on Australian wickets and
Yeah,
stuff.
fair enough.
But
Fair enough.
but Rishabh Pant is going to be back by then, and Pant will be my vice captain. ये KL Rahul को vice captaincy से निकाल दो तब तक.
Hmm. So I think that's the good thing to wrap up on. Once again, thank you very much, boys, and until next time, to everyone, go follow Nikhil and Aadit on X or Twitter. जो भी बोलना है बुलाओ यार उसको. And as far as I'm concerned, please like, subscribe, share, where जो करना है करो. Audio वाले हो तो review डाल देना Spotify, iTunes या जिधर भी सुनते हो. And if you really want to support this podcast, please become a member on YouTube, Fanmo, Patreon, wherever you want to join the membership program. You can also send donations to UPI. You can buy the Cārvāka podcast merchandise. And I finally found my India t-shirt without a sponsor. ये मैंने वो specially खरीदी थी Adidas की t-shirt when there was no Dream 11 written on it. And I finally found it and I'm so happy about it. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, take care.
Kushal, 1 second before you wrap up, just 1 second.
हाँ बोल ना.
Amongst all the weird dismissals yesterday, Angelo Matthews was out hit wicket in a
Very
test
good.
match. That was something. Now you wrap up. I just had to add
All
that
right.
before we ended up.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Yes.